Morning guys, welcome to Community Devils. I'm Tom Williams as always, and today's transfer update. Obviously, I'm sure you're all aware, Alvaro Morata is edging closer and closer to his switch to Old Trafford. I believe the players actually came back from his honeymoon to try and speed up the deal and obviously iron out any creases that are left in the transfer, i.e. wages, any personal terms, the transfer fee, and obviously a medical. But I fully believe that this transfer will be completed later this week, and that a medical should take place, towards the end of the week, maybe over the weekend. I think he wants to get back onto his honeymoon with his wife, so quite confident on this now. I think that the deal's definitely picked up pace this week, and we were waiting for him to get his wedding out of the way, and obviously we were aware that he was going to be going on his honeymoon. So, like I said, it's a transfer that I'm fully expecting to go through by the end of this week, and I'll be happy to do a video to confirm that we've made the transfer and to obviously welcome him to Old Trafford. So, pretty excited by the signing because he's a great player. He's proved that Real Madrid, Juventus and Spain, that he's a great striker. He's got a lot of goals in him. He's still young, very skillful. He's very clinical with his finishing as well. He can score with both feet, he can score with his head. He's got great movements. He's pretty quick, and his all-round, his attributes are absolutely fantastic for his age. So there's been I think there's been mixed emotions on the transfer from a lot of United fans, but in my own personal opinion, I think it's going to be a great transfer for us, and he's going to add a lot to the United squad, especially with Zlatan being released. So we do need a big player to come in. I believe Morata fits that mould. I think he's going to be a great addition, and I'm fully looking forward to the transfer happening. I think it's important to get this deal done before we go on the United tour. Pre-season tour of the US, so it's important to get these players integrated into the team before we do that, and obviously get a good pre-season under the belt before we start the new season. We've already got Victor Lindelof in. There's a couple more signings that will be made before we obviously go on the tour, so I think this week and next week are going to be vital to how we set up for next season. And I think Ed Woodward's working very hard to get these transfers done. He was obviously given a list by Jose Mourinho in March, so he's fully aware of what Jose wants, and I think he's busting his balls to get these deals done. So it'd be good to see how that progresses in this week. But I believe there's other players on the cards as well. There's talk of us signing Nainggollan. I believe we've offered him about 7.5 million, which I think in my last video I got it wrong because I said about 6.5 million a year or a season, which is considerably more than what he's on at Roma at the moment. But I think there's talk of about a 35-40 million pound fee for him, which is, I think, is very good for a player of his calibre. Again, he'd bring so much to the United team. We do need somebody in the central midfield role, and I think this guy fits the mould pretty well. He's a very aggressive player, which is what United have been lacking in previous seasons. And United are all about aggression. I think there's to be a truly great United player, you need aggression, you need passion, and Nainggollan definitely fits that mould. He's very defensively aware, great passer of the ball, he's consistent, he can drive forward with an attack, he can sit back, he can tackle, and like I said, his aggression is a big part of his game. He's very passionate about playing football, and I think we'd be making a great signing in Nainggollan. It's just whether we can progress with the deal this week or next week. Again, it's vital that we get these signings done before the pre-season tour, so I'm hopeful that we can get the ball rolling. Nainggollan obviously previously came out in an interview when he was asked about a possible transfer to United. He said, well, it could be true, it could not be true. I think if the player was outright wanting to stay at Roma, he'd have turned around and said, no, listen, I'm happy in Rome, I want to play for Roma, I'm comfortable, I'm happy with how my football's going at the moment, but he's not come out and said that, so he's not really poured any cold water on the transfer, and I think he's quite open to the move to United. So again, it's going to be interesting to see if we can get the transfer done in the coming days, and if there's going to be any more solidity in any of the talks that we've been having. So we will obviously give an update once we have something a bit more concrete in regarding the transfer for Nainggollan. But at the moment, I'm optimistic. I think we can get a deal done for him. Ed Woodward, like I said, is probably busting his balls to get these transfers done. He's under a lot of pressure to get these transfers through because, as we all know, Mourinho likes to get his business done early, and I think we're definitely in for a couple of central midfield players, i.e. Fabinho, Matic and Nainggollan. So if you do look at all the Mourinho teams in the past, he's always set up with two players in the centre of the park, which is how he's done it at Chelsea and how he's done it in Milan. So I think he's trying to install that at United, and I think it just adds a bit of solidity to the team, because a midfield will work well when you've got two decent central midfielders, and the likes of Nainggollan, Matic and Fabinho, they can all sit back and they can all move forward with an attack. So I think if they interchange and they get like Fabinho, for example, sitting back while Nainggollan drives forward, or vice versa, and the same with Matic, so the combination of the three, they can all work well together and do that. So it's all about getting that decent partnership in the centre of the park, and the aggressive play from Nainggollan and Fabinho for me would work better than either of them with Matic. So I would like to see Fabinho and Nainggollan in the centre of the park for United next season, but I think it's highly unlikely that we're going to get both of them players, so we'll have to see how that progresses. As I keep saying, there's no concrete evidence that we're in for either of the players at the moment. There was talk at the start of the week saying that we'll be having Matic signed in the next 24 hours, but there's still nothing. We're on Thursday now and there's still nothing, so I think we can't truly believe any of the reports that come out. It is just here saying that these stories are printed to sell papers at the end of the day, and until something's come from the horse's mouth, I don't think we can take any of it as gospel. But we're quietly confident we can get some decent transfer business done this summer. Next up, James Rodriguez and Ivan Perisic. I've been watching more on Perisic, and I'm quite impressed with him as a player. I think he's got a lot in his engine. He can score with both feet, he puts in a good ball, he can score with his head, he assists a lot of goals, he's a great passer, he's relatively quick for his age, and I think he'd be a great addition to United, although I did have my reservations about him in the last couple of weeks, but the more I've watched him, the more I think he's a great fit for United. So we'll see how that progresses. Again, there was talks of the stumbling block was the transfer fee. I don't think we're having any problems with offering him a contract in personal terms, so I think it is down to how Inter Milan want to play ball, and I don't think Jose would be disrespectful enough to try and take the piss with Inter Milan, because he obviously used to be manager there and he's got a lot of ties with the club. So again, we'll see how this progresses through the week, but I'm quite confident we can get him or Rodriguez in. I'd rather have James Rodriguez in because he's younger. I think he's potentially a better player. I'm going to quote this, but as Mark Goldbridge says, he's got a wonderful left foot, which I truly believe that as well. And we've seen what he can do for Real Madrid when he's been given the chance. And if we had him and Morata together, they've got a great understanding as it is playing for Real Madrid. However, I don't think Real Madrid are willing to part with two players without us prizing with David De Gea. So I don't think the David De Gea saga has ended yet, because we've seen what happened last time around. The fax machine broke on the last day and they couldn't complete the transfer for David De Gea. I think he's still keen on a move back to Madrid. Obviously it's his hometown, and I think he would predominantly like to be back in Spain, in Madrid. And I don't think we've heard the last of it yet. There's been a lot of talk that United are going out to to keep De Gea at the club and pulling out all stops to keep him there. But I don't think he's going to stay personally. In my own opinion, I'd love for him to stay. I can't stress this enough. I want De Gea at United for years to come. He's probably, in my eyes, the top 2 goalkeepers in the world, along with Manuel Neuer. And we don't want to let our best players go. We're Manchester United. We don't want to be letting players of that calibre go. So I hope we do keep De Gea, but I think it's highly unlikely. I think Real Madrid will come in at the end of the transfer window and pull out a deal and take him to Madrid. So I think either that or he's going to be used as a bargaining tool for United signing the likes of Rodriguez and Morata. So we'll like I said, we'll see how that progresses later in the week, but I'm not entirely hopeful of keeping De Gea. And I think if we can make some signings like Morata, James Rodriguez, Fabinho, Nainggollan, Matic he's not a bad player, as I've said in the past, and I think Mourinho knows what he's doing. If he wants Matic in the squad, he's fully aware that he'd improve the team. So we'll see how it progresses anyway, and obviously I'll keep you updated with any news on that. So with regards to defence, there's not actually been any concrete evidence that we're in for any more defenders. I think we do need to strengthen in the left back role, because Luke Shaw, like I've said time and time again, his fitness is a problem for United, and we haven't got another out and out left back. We've got the likes of Daley Blind and Darmian who can fill in at that position, but predominant left backs we don't have any more than Luke Shaw. I'd like to see that, obviously United were linked with Jordi Alba, and I'd like to see him in the team next season. So we'll see how that progresses anyway. We'll keep you updated with that. So just trying to touch base on any other news. I don't think that's it. I don't think there's anything else until more stories come out or anything concrete comes out from any agents or players or clubs. So until there's anything more concrete in the pipeline, we'll obviously keep you updated with that. But until then, obviously like, share and subscribe to my channel. Any comments, feel free to do so below, and any opinions are welcome. So until next time, have a good day, and I'll speak to you soon.